Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University of Adelaide graduation ceremony. This afternoon's ceremony is for graduates from the Faculty of Sciences. The ceremony will commence very shortly. The university has a contract photographer to provide photography services during the ceremony. If you wish to take photos during the ceremony, I would ask that you do so discreetly and from your seat, and please do not use flash. To maintain the ceremony's decorum, could you please also switch off your mobile phones? For safety reasons, I would ask that guests not to enter the galleries upstairs, and please do not sit on the steps in the balcony areas. In the event of an emergency, please follow the instructions of the security officers and ushers. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession, which is about to enter the hall. And please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. You're encouraged to join in the singing. The text for the anthem is printed in your graduation program. Please rise for the academic procession.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth fertile, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
I, Diane Davidson, Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, declare open this congregation, convened for the purpose of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, Mr. Ian Gould, the Chancellor of the University of South Australia, parents, relatives, friends, and especially graduates, welcome to this special University of Adelaide's graduation ceremony. I wish to acknowledge the Kaurna people, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains and the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses at North Terrace, Waite, Theberton and Roseworthy are built. Graduates, welcome to you especially today. This event is one in which you and your family and your friends can take great pride. It's also a great source of pride and satisfaction to the university to see you all here at the end of a long journey. And Graduation Day is an opportunity for you all to reflect on the past and the future, and this hopefully is a day and an event which will help you choose a direction in life and maybe change one that you already have selected. Whatever direction that life may take though, the skills that you have acquired and developed here will stand you in good stead, as will the friendships and the colleagues you've worked with. And you'll value those relationships throughout your working and personal and professional lives. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you this afternoon's graduation orator, Dr. Paul Hethersay. Dr. Hethersay was appointed to the position of Chief Executive of the Olympic Dam Task Force in December 2010, and he holds the position of Deputy Chief Executive, Resources and Energy. His role at the Olympic Dam Task Force is to oversee and coordinate the state government's interaction with BHP Billiton. As Deputy Chief Executive, Resources and Energy, Dr. Hethersay leads the Minerals, Resources and Energy divisions of the Department of Manufacturing, Innovation, Trade, Resources and Energy. These divisions manage South Australia's mineral, gas, petroleum and energy sectors on behalf of the people of South Australia, and he is therefore in a position of significant influence. Before joining the public service in 2002, Dr. Hethersay spent more than 20 years in the mining industry in Australia and Southeast Asia and China for North Limited and its predecessor, GeoPeco. In June 2012, Dr. Hethersay was awarded a Public Service Medal for his outstanding public service to the growth and development of the mineral resources sector in South Australia, and in November 2012, he was elected a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Technological Sciences. We are privileged in welcoming Dr. Paul Hethersay.
Deputy Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Chancellor of the UniSA, President, distinguished guests, staff, parents, friends, and especially the University of Adelaide graduates of 2013. I have to begin by saying congratulations to you all for achieving the milestones needed to get to this day. This is the formal end of many years of study and a day of celebration, so enjoy it. Have no doubt you're graduating from one of the world's great universities, the third oldest in Australia, and a world-renowned centre for teaching, research, excellence and impact. I was here in the late 70s as a science graduate with honours in geology. I've got a photo of that day with my geological colleagues sporting spectacular mullets, incredibly loud ties and zero fashion sense. And it's just as well we had gowns to cover us up. As a group, we spent an unreasonable amount of time on the Bar Smith Library steps and the university bar contemplating life and strategies to meet women. Part of our strategy was to form a blues rock band called Howling Harry Halifax in the Victoria Squares, and tragically we still get together occasionally to play exactly the same songs as we played 35 years ago. But I vividly remember sitting here in graduation wondering if I'd chosen the right degree and had it been worth the effort. Furthermore, it was raining outside that day, and it dawned on me somewhat belatedly that as a geologist I might be expected to actually work in the rain. There were very few jobs for geologists back in those days in South Australia, and I found myself a couple of months after graduating working in horizontal scrub and sleet and snow in southwestern Tasmania. In the first year there, I was lucky enough to meet Professor Sam Warren-Carey, who was one of the earliest protagonists for plate tectonic theory in Australia. He announced in the camp one day that because I had a science degree, we could have a discussion as professionals around the origins of the universe. Of course, I appreciated him treating me like a professional, but I felt like a complete and utter fraud. So I learned a very valuable lesson that day. Even if you think you don't know anything, act like someone who does. It will get you a long way, and before you know it, you'll have traversed the path from a novice to a professional. One of the compelling parts of our journeys as scientists is the notion of discovery. Once you've experienced this discovery in your scientific life, there's no going back. For me, this happened in Tasmania in my first year out, and my aversion to rain was sorely tested, but as a group of professionals, we worked out a very systematic plan for discovery, and we found lead, zinc and tin ore bodies that made a difference to the company and actually created new jobs in Tasmania. And when that happened, that was it for me. I had no doubt about what I needed to do. I'd then go on to weather snowstorms, horizontal scrub, tiger snakes. It didn't matter because I had that goal of that discovery. It's an incredible feeling. Most exploration geologists have a similar story. All of you with a science training will now experience this in some way, and it is massively addictive. And I will commend to all of you that by choosing science, you too will have your moments of discovery that will wash away any doubts you might be having right now. It becomes an incredible driver for chances, for selling ideas and building networks. Your discoveries may not be momentous, but from little thoughts, big projects grow, and it's often just a crazy idea or a thought dreamed up on the vast myth library steps that is the seed for a greater discovery later on. But life has a habit of changing direction very unexpectedly. In my case, the mining industry went through a major downturn in the late 90s, which saw a lot of the mid-cap companies that were very famous at the time, companies like North Limited, Avafor, Western Mining, all disappear, and jobs for exploration geologists dried up completely. After a year out of work, I was lucky enough to join the South Australian Public Service here in Adelaide. I only intended it to be a brief period and spend a couple of years in the public service and jump back into industry, but I'm still here 12 years later. In the public service, I discovered that science and industry background can have a major impact on policy and government. By way of example, a small team in 2004 embarked on a program called the Plan for Accelerating Exploration, or PACE for short. We wrote a strategy to make South Australia a more exciting place for investment, which involved bringing all the scientific data we had in the Mines Department together and making it accessible and meaningful for mining companies to invest here. That program, which was only meant to last for 3 years, is now in its 10th year, and it's led to a 10-fold increase in exploration expenditure and a 5-fold increase in value of production and exports. Minerals as a group is now the largest export earner for South Australia and is expected to double again by 2020. The point of this example is that in most of your career will take some unexpected turns. And it's not the knowledge you have, but the ability that you already have in getting to today. Graduates from the University of Adelaide have shown their success here and in many overseas locations to be adaptive, innovative and productive. I mention the public service here because for me it was a complete surprise to see how individuals with a science or engineering background can have a huge impact on public policy and the well-being of the state. The public service offers career paths to all graduates, and I would strongly commend it to this class today if you haven't considered it already. Today marks the day when you all successfully finished one sort of competition and are now embarking on another one in the job market, which is completely different. You need to develop a strategy that goes way beyond writing a CV and scanning the internet. You need to develop your own professional network, which will start with your own colleagues that you have right alongside you now and your lecturers. You need to join the professional bodies in your disciplines and get involved in their committees. Through this, you'll learn the jargon, the craft, the framework, the unofficial rules of the areas that you want to explore. More importantly, you'll expand your own personal network and uncover jobs which are often not advertised or have limited exposure. Put your hand up for anything that is going, that you'd have a chance of doing. Take on the task that nobody else wants and do it well. Get on with everybody and don't make enemies, because the world of science is a smaller community than you think. More importantly, be proud of yourself. You've done brilliantly to get this far and you come from a great university. Announce your alumni proudly and give back to the university when you can. In summary, I'll leave you with a quote from that well-known philosopher from The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, who said, "In life, there is no core curriculum. The entire thing is an elective. Enjoy your elective." Thank you.
On behalf of the graduates and their families attending this afternoon's ceremony, I'd like to thank Mr. Paul Hethersay for his stimulating and inspiring address. We are honoured that you've taken the time to join us on this special day to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. Please join me in once again thanking Mr. Paul Hethersay.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call again on the Vice-Chancellor.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor Warren Bebbington, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have fulfilled all the conditions prescribed for admission to the awards for which they are so presented.
I, Diane Davidson, Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the ranks and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor Robert Hill, present to you graduates from the Faculty of Sciences. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled A Genetic Dissection of Drought and Heat Tolerance Related Traits in Bread Wheat, Triticum aestivum L. Dion Bennett. For a thesis entitled Dietary Energy Manipulations and Reproductive Performance in Primiparis Sows, Tai Yuan Chen. For a thesis entitled Epidemiology and Management of Ascochyta Blight of Field Pea, Pisum sativum in South Australia, Jennifer Ann Davidson. For a thesis entitled Medium Chain Fatty Acids and WNTB catenin Inhibitors as Adjunctive Colorectal Cancer Chemotherapeutic Agents, Jane Catherine Fowler. For a thesis entitled Elemental, Cytopic and Molecular Signatures of Early Cambrian Marine Sediments and a Phantom Petroleum System in South Australia, Philip Anthony Hall. For a thesis entitled Global Distribution Models for Whale Sharks, Assessing Occurrence Trends of Highly Migratory Marine Species, Anna Michaela Martin-Sequeira. For a thesis entitled Aromatic Condensation of Black Carbon, Its Measurement and Importance, Anna Macbeth. For a thesis entitled Zinc Oxide Nanoparticles in the Soil Environment, Dissolution, Speciation, Retention and Bioavailability, Narges Milani. For a thesis entitled Plant Availability of Water in Soils Being Reclaimed from the Ceylon Sodic State, Nguyen Doi Nang. For a thesis entitled Magnetotelluric Monitoring, Jared Roy Peacock. For a thesis entitled Genetic and Environmental Control of Yellow Pigment in Durham Wheat, Triticum turgidum Durham in Australia, Michael Gavin Quinn. For a thesis entitled Natural Carbon Dioxide Accumulations as Analogues for Carbon Dioxide Geological Storage,
and carbon dioxide-induced diagenesis in the Otway Basin, Australia, Maxwell Noel Watson. And for a thesis entitled The Influence of Cabernet Sauvignon Grape Maturity on the Concentration and Extraction of Colour and Phenolic Compounds in Wine, Cynthia Yonker. To the degree of Master of Biotechnology, Plant Biotechnology, Dennis Dolaria. To the degree of Master of Carbon Management, Xiao Guo. To the degree of Master of Global Food and Agricultural Business, Yuan Yuan. To the degree of Master of Global Food and Agricultural Business, Marketing, Anna Vicky Finizio. To the degree of Master of Global Food and Agricultural Business, Trade Policy, Kerry Lee Borman. Kerry also receives the Professional Certificate in International Trade. To the degree of Master of Enology, Chi Yun Deng. Hong Wang. Hong also receives the Graduate Diploma in Enology. Tao Huang. And Ji Young. To the degree of Master of Plant Health and Biosecurity, Carla Bandari. And Nilesh Amy Chand. To the degree of Master of Sustainability, Advanced, Alina Mokutnov. To the degree of Master of Sustainability, Kathy Nicole Coombs. Renato Shimose Nunez de Andrade. Yusi Liu. Joanne Elizabeth Nyman. And Simone Kumasaka Weisheimer. To the degree of Master of Wine Business, Jane Rowena Curley. To the Graduate Diploma in Biotechnology, Plant Biotechnology, Huang Thao V. Nguyen. To the Graduate Diploma in Enology, Riley Harrison. To the Graduate Diploma in Sustainability, Edward Ferdinand Quinker. To the Graduate Diploma in Wine Business, Araluen Grace Earls. To the Honours Degree of Bachelor of Food and Nutrition Science, Francisca Sonia Pereira. To the Honours Degree of Bachelor of Enology, Naomi Rebecca Verdonk. Naomi also receives a Bachelor of Laws and a Diploma in Languages. To the Honours Degree of Bachelor of Viticulture and Enology, Lauren Isla Hansen. Anthony Douglas Pearce. Leon James Talamini, and Craig Andrew Turnbull. To the degree of Bachelor of Agricultural Sciences, Ashley Sarah Carslake Hunt, Michael Henry Collins, Felicity Georgia Davies, Laura Elizabeth Hammond, Holly Lavinia Hannaford, Thomas Charles Heddle, Shin Hui Lim, Peter John McInerney, James Robert Bretchen Mumford, Adam Luke Norman, Ryan Michael O'Flaherty, Stephen George Schmidt, John Angus Swintzer, and Benjamin Colin Taylor. To the degree of Bachelor of Food and Nutrition Science, Shakira Ferdas Arifin, Yvonne Chia, Fui Sun Chu, Thomas Nahum Dobbin, Andrew David Fuller, Yi Teng Lim, Jai Liu, Poi Ting An Wong, Dirui So, Ailing Tan, and Miang Hiang Tan. To the degree of Bachelor of Enology, Samuel James Watkins. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Evolutionary Biology, Josephine Charlotte Hyde and Myle Alexander Tarrant. Thank you. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Marine Biology, Owen Yayan Coffey, Elisa Margaret Giannoni, Sophie Jennifer Hamball, Ben Humphreys, Alyssa Renee Lumsden, Danielle Manetti, Shelley Helene Rogers, Adam Gregory Schultz, Talia Alana Whitman, and Liang Wen Zhu. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Mineral Geoscience, James Christopher Acott, Morgan Lee Blades, Henry Charles Chalk, Dylan Cremasco, Romy Angela Fisher, Thomas James Fotheringham, Luke Leslie George, Samuel David Goldsmith, William Philip Hagger, Alcibiades Kontonikis Charos, Benjamin Charles Marston, Andrew John May, Diana Nikolopoulos, Alexander Prohoff, to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Nanoscience and Materials, Sarah Jane Broadbent. Tom Coleman, Adrian Webster Markwell Hayes, and Georgina Marie Sylvia. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Natural Resources, Murray Bernard Gretz, Jamie Lee Jones, Victoria Elizabeth Ann McCarran, and Michael Martin Todd. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Petroleum Geoscience, Samuel Paulo da Graca Correa. To the degree of Bachelor of Viticulture and Enology, Alison Joy Baker, Melanie Ray Chester, James Brenton Ellis, Amanda K. Dorothy Lurch, James Michael McCall, Lisa Marie Minter, Benjamin John Mullen, and Jared Lawrence Stringer. To the degree of Bachelor of Wine Marketing, Yan Lin, Chien Law, Evan Soon, and Yunju Wang.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Ian Murray Reid, Executive Dean of the Roseworthy Campus, present to you graduates from the Roseworthy Campus. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Animal Science, Taryn Brooke Battersby. Chelsea Marie Bird. Ashley Brooke Coleman. Beth Marie Carell, Caitlin Crabb, Emily Claire Darcy, Emily Marchie de Reuter, Rebecca Leanne Devon, Georgina Louise Eden, Caitlin Alexandra Evans, Annalie Kate Francesca, Jacqueline Therese Garland, Jenna Rose Hoffman, Kayla Louise Johnson, Sean Niels Douglas Johnson, Stacey Ellen Jonas, Alexandra Kate Jordan, Lorraine Cherie Lampton, Alicia Simone McRae, Justine Kate Partoon, Mark Daniel Seaman, Alet Simha Sra, Rachel Ann Suter, David Luke Wakeham, Stephanie Jane Ward, Chloe Rawdon Flood, Bethany Lee Wright, Eric Yin, and Jessica Elizabeth Zematis. To the degree of Bachelor of Science, Veterinary Bioscience, Caitlin Jane Addison, Kate Kuna Avaray, Sarah Marie Ballantyne, John Michael Robert Barrett, Bianca Faye Bishop, Megan Louise Bouchier, Ella Rose Karapitas, Pat Ham Chung, Amy Lee Cleggett, Nicola Claire Kuhn, Stephanie Grace Crocker, Dylan Divathasan, Richard Paul Duffield, Kate Thea Duncan, Festina Nyap Chai Fung, Chelsea Elizabeth Fowler, Cassie Charlotte Francisco, Kate Elizabeth Hardman, Ashley Marie Hardreaves, Brett Anthony Harris, Prue Alice Hicks, Kenneth Yen Liang Chi, Alana Louise Knight, Jonathan Chan Kun Lee, Quinn Philip Mackey, Joanna Yayamani Mahadevan, Adelaide Churchill Martin, Akihiro Matsui, Emma Catherine Nelson, David John Oswald, Tiffany Lee Peters, Michael Quinton, Alicia Rockler, Anna Claire Schumann, Jiawen Shao, Sune Schmidt, Chelsea Ann Smith, Magda Stern, Alicia Adele Thriskett, Emma Louise Trager, Taylor Joy Urand, Pascal Joseph John Earlings, Natasha Gerda Rotsdorf, and Thomas Wilhelm Westerman.
I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank the mace bearer, Lauren Hansen, all of the musicians who've played for us today, and all staff and student volunteers who've assisted in the organisation and running of this ceremony. I invite you all to light refreshments down in the Eclipse function room on level 4 of the Union building on the lower level of campus. There is good signage out here in the garden, and we'd love to see you down there, where you will find photographers, framing and other merchandise. I have particular pleasure in congratulating all new graduates here today. It's a very special day, and I think every time that I see a group of new graduates, even the older ones, it's a special moment because we can celebrate your achievements and your commitment. But as graduates now of the university, you're also its alumni and its and our ambassadors. And we want to retain contact with you for as long as we can, and we want you to work on our behalf as well. Over the years since the University of Adelaide was established, its alumni have made a large contribution to the community, both here in South Australia, certainly throughout Australia, and in many, many parts of the world. You now all, as graduates, have a stake in this great institution because the qualifications it has given you and your experiences whilst here are yours for life. Your knowledge, friendship, active participation and interest in the university's ongoing affairs and its development are very important to its continuing reputation and its strength. Please stay in contact with us via the online community, Adelaide Online. You will receive login details and a membership card in the next 3 or 4 weeks, so get to work and make contact with us, please. Again, my personal congratulations to all of you for your achievements today. And I'd like to ask the graduates to remain seated and the rest of the audience to stand and join me in congratulating them all on their achievements. Would you all please remain standing, and would the graduates now please stand, ready for the academic procession. And thank you again for your attendance at this celebration today, and I now declare this congregation of the University of Adelaide to be adjourned. Thank you.